In this edition of ABN AMRO World Hockey, we travel to the sleepy little town of Ipoh for the Sultan Azlan Shah Cup. Find out how Malaysian hockey is clawing back from the brink. We'll meet the super coach Frank Murray as he charts out his campaign for the Beijing Olympics. And finally, we'll tell you how hockey is just child's play for this young man. The Global Youth Hockey Marathon, celebrating the FIH's theme of hockey, a sport for everybody, was conducted across the globe in mid-May. One of the venues was Muscat in the Middle East. It saw a unique spectacle, more than 200 school children learning the basic skills of the game. China continued their rise following on the heels of the bronze medal in the Asian Games. They won the four-nation invitational tournament in Lanzhou, the host defeating Japan 2-1 in the final of an event that also featured Egypt and the USA. First up, we travel to Malaysia, to a city situated 200 kilometres north of Kuala Lumpur, Ipoh. The city earned its name from a local tree known for its poisonous sap. Ipoh came into prominence in the 20th century as a flourishing centre for tin mining. Today it's known as the hockey capital of the country. It's also the host of the Azlan Shah Cup. 8 teams took part in the tournament. Olympic champions Australia headed Group A with India, Argentina and China. In Group B, Malaysia were clubbed with Korea, Pakistan and Canada. The first upset of the tournament, a solitary goal by Lucas Rossi, helping Argentina beat Olympic gold medalist and world number 2, Australia. In a grudge match, India was looking to avenge their humiliating Asian Games defeat to China. A bizarre game, it saw 14 penalty corners. The Chinese took the lead through captain Yang Yu. But the Indians proved to be superior, thanks to young Raghunath, who fired home 2 penalty corners.
Pushed, and this one is through. India are back in the lead with Raghunath. Well, a double strike for the 19-year-old.
China did score 2 more goals, but India survived the penalty corner blitz and won 5-3. The big match on day 4 was the clash between Malaysia and Korea.
And a chance goal! That's a goal!
This opportunistic strike by Ismail Abu guaranteed Malaysia's spot in the semi-finals. In the final league encounter, India arrived for their match knowing only a victory against Argentina would guarantee them a spot in the last 4. India dominated proceedings, but had to wait till the dying minutes to seal their victory.
India have the goal! That's Roshan Mins. If they can get a second goal in, have a great chance here, and it's a goal! India have scored the second goal. Tushar Khandekar, that's the right approach indeed.
The Indian victory resulted in a 3-way tie between Australia, India and Argentina, with the South Americans being eliminated on goal difference. In Group B, Malaysia were the surprise group leaders, booking their spot in the semis along with Korea. The first semi-final was a repeat of the 2006 World Cup semi-final between the Koreans and Australia, but the Asian champions were no match for the Kookaburras.
It's Australia, and well, what a letaway.
In the second semi-final, a packed stadium cheered on the local heroes as they took on India. The home side didn't disappoint, despite being under pressure for most of the game.
Then in the centre, good ball played away. And Selvaraju takes that crack, and what has happened? It's a goal for Malaysia. Malaysia have struck. Sardar takes the shot. Here's a chance for India. They got the equalizer. That's 1-1, and it has been bumped away by Shivinder Singh. And this one's in. Shivinder Singh strikes for Malaysia. The Indian defences have crumbled.
In the third place playoff, India recovered well from their semi-final loss and got the better of Asian Games champions Korea.
Now Roshan wins. India looking dangerous. Here comes the shot. And it's a goal. India have broken the ice. Look at the joy on the faces of the Indians.
All roads led to the Aslan Shah Stadium for the final, with host Malaysia taking on Australia. The Malaysians put on a spirited performance, but after a barren first half, the Australians stepped up the gas and won 3-1.
Australia looking dangerous now. Grant Schubert. Subramaniam comes up, and it is a goal by Australia. And well, it's another one for Australia. The second one comes. It's a double strike, really. And beautifully engineered as the Australians came up in numbers. Oh, a chance, open goal, and that is Australia's third, and Russell Ford is the striker. And the goal has been scored by Malaysia. That's the consolation. Jiva Mohan has scored that goal in the end. The crowd is overjoyed. The match is over, but that scoreline will be 3-1 and not 3-0.
So Australia get their season off to a winning start, a perfect build-up to their defence of the Olympic gold.
We come into this tournament with a mixed group. We left some more experienced players at home to blood some new young guys. And we're really happy with the way the team performed and the way we came through the tournament, and especially with the growth of those young guys. They all show they can stand up in what is not only we now counted as a benchmark event of the season, of the calendar with the Aslan Shah, but also in front of an unbelievable crowd. It gives us a really good experience, and for these young guys, they're so much better for it.
So Canada last, China 7th, Pakistan 6th, just behind Argentina. India retain the bronze they won last year, Malaysia the silver. Barry Dancers Kookaburras take home the Aslan Shah Cup. Coming up after the break, we meet the Australian super coach, Frank Murray. And it's up close and personal with the new superstar of New Zealand hockey. These are the moments that all Malaysian hockey fans will cherish for a long time. For a team ranked 14th in the world and seemingly on the slide, their performance at the Aslan Shah Cup was nothing short of miraculous. First, they beat the Asian Games champions Korea for the first time in 10 years. And then they beat India to book their spot in the final after a gap of 22 years.
Malaysia has shown a clear step forwards in their development of the young players, and slowly I think the fruit is now coming out, fruit of the hard work, what they have done in the lower age groups to develop the hockey in the States and especially in the national teams, in the junior teams.
That superb showing came close on the heels of a disappointing period for Malaysian hockey. The team failed to qualify for both the 2004 Athens Olympics and the 2006 Mönchengladbach World Cup. The slide continued at the Doha Asian Games, where they finished 6th, forcing the entire national team to be disbanded. Former captain and Olympian Sarjeet Singh was appointed national coach with a brief to build a team for the 2012 London Olympics.
The coach was the former junior national coach, and he was leading the team to the Junior World Cup, and they have made only the 10th place, but they were clear showing improvement there, and there are many talents in the Malaysian junior team, and now they have make that step to the senior team, but it's not easy, but it's normally always a big step to make that come forward to the seniors.
While the juniors formed the core of the team, experienced campaigners like Chua Boon Hat were retained to guide them on the big stage. Players like Kelvinder Singh, voted the most promising player at the Junior World Cup, took centre stage, and it didn't take long to realise this was a winning formula.
I personally told Sarjeet, keep this team, because never in the history of Malaysian hockey where they really concentrate on young boys and keep only the senior 2 or 3 players. Those days, Malaysian hockey doesn't, maybe they are scared to lose.
The next couple of months will be vital for Malaysian hockey. Coach Sarjeet and his boys will be looking forward to carry on the momentum from Ipoh. The team head to China for a 4-nation tournament, followed by the Asia Cup in India, and then the Olympic qualifiers. But the important question, will this inexperienced side deliver in more testing conditions?
So we have to consider and to look at that point, whether we need some more experienced players in the national team or whether it is good enough to play almost with the juniors. And their juniors have played excellent here.
Despite their inexperience, this Malaysian team certainly has all the ingredients to make an impact at the highest level. Once near invincible on the world stage, the Australian women's hockey team is now struggling to live up to the exploits of the Hockeyroos side that won 5 successive Champions Trophy titles, 2 World Cups and 2 Olympic golds in the 90s. Once that team disbanded after the Sydney Olympic triumph, it's been an uphill struggle. After finishing out of the top 4 in Athens, drastic measures seemed to be called for, and former men's team coach Frank Murray was drafted in to get the Hockeyroos back on top of the world.
It's a challenge, definitely. It's not actually dissimilar to what I inherited with the men when I first took over with the men in '89, when I felt then that there wasn't the critical mass that we were chasing, and so it took us a while to build them up. I think that's where we're at with the women, and we're trying to build that mass again. We're trying to get the structures that will link the state teams programs with the high performance end of each program.
The problem, according to Murray, is that when Australia were out conquering the world, hockey at the grassroots was ignored. And the more the Hockeyroos kept winning, the more the cracks got papered over, only servicing once the great players retired with no adequate replacements in sight. Now he feels things are just beginning to correct themselves.
Look, I think we've got the structures close to correct now, but it's going to take time for them to produce players. But it's important that we find opportunities to work with these players, not just to get them on tour and to let them play games, but to get them together and to work with them and allow them to work with the top group of coaches around Australia.
Australia may be one of hockey's superpowers, but the players have to wage a grim struggle to balance their sport and their other commitments, since the game is still largely amateur down under.
I think that's the biggest issue, that getting the players is very difficult. To run a program of any note, you have to run it early morning and late evening because they have to get off to work or they have to get off to study, and equally they're spread right around Australia. They can't pick up their lives and all bring it to one location, and Australia being such a vast country, it's not possible for me, for example, to work with the Queensland girls more than when we get them on tour. I mean, occasionally I can get across here for a week and do some work, but it is difficult. That's why we rely on our what we call our National Training Centre coaches. We have coaches in each location.
While the players may not be professionals, there is nothing amateurish about the way the game is approached. Apart from the usual video filming and analysis, sports scientists there have brought in the use of GPS units.
Yes, we use a lot of technology, so GPS and heart rate monitors is a key part of what we do. And that monitors speed, distance covered, heart rate, and we do a lot of analysis of that. So we get raw data from the units and then do a lot of analysis post-game and understand the game in a bit more detail. All it does really is it uses satellites to plot where you are on Earth. And the units we have a sample rate of 1 hertz, which is 1 sample per second. So it tells us where everyone is exactly every second. So we had every one of our players would have a unit on during each of the games for the National League. So we have a lot of data, and we've done this for 2 years now, and we're in a pretty good position to understand the games and what happens and how people approach it and the physicality around the game.
All stops are being pulled out as the Hockeyroos plan forward towards the Beijing Olympics. The aim, of course, is to strike gold, but Murray is guarded in his optimism.
Well, I don't think it's going to be easy. You know, unless something untoward happens, I think the Dutch will go there as favourites. But as I said, we will go there knowing that we're going to be competitive, and we know that that gives us an opportunity. And so we'll go and hope that we get a few breaks that go our way. But we'll be there. We'll certainly be fit. We'll certainly be prepared. And then it's a matter of taking the breaks when they come our way.
The Hockeyroos are known to rise to the big occasion, and despite having slipped a bit in the rankings, few would bet against them raising their game in Beijing. At 19, Simon Child has the world at his feet. He's already being touted as one of the most exciting talents to have ever emerged from New Zealand. Having made his debut for the Black Sticks at the age of 16, Child's in his 3rd year with the national squad, and he's seen as the spark that could transform a highly competent team into a world-beating outfit of the near future.
He's an exciting player because he brings to New Zealand, I guess, the first of some of the new skills, just raw talent, doing the things that he would like to do with a hockey ball. Quite different from the traditional overcoached hockey player that we have in some areas. So he's very exciting. He's got a good brain. He's an intelligent kid.
If there's one thing that Child does lack, it's experience. And that's exactly what took him across the Tasman Sea to play in the Australian Hockey League for the Tasmanian Tigers.
Australia play a fantastic brand of hockey, and when the past circumstances when New Zealand's played Australia, they play a really flashy game, and I really admire the way they play and how they can just score goals from nothing, and they're very fast, and that's mainly the attraction that's brought me over here. I got an offer from Andrew McDonald, the Tasmanian coach, just after the World Cup to come over here and play for the 2007 AHL, and I was looking to already come over and play, but I was absolutely thrilled to get invited, and so I guess just coming over here, getting a few more games under my belt, for more experience, and learning a little bit about the Australian game, which has allowed me hopefully to take back to New Zealand and pull in my game.
The Black Sticks served up a mixed bag in 2006, a poor 5th in the Commonwealth Games, before surprising everybody to win the World Cup qualifier in China. And in the World Cup, they were in with a shout of entering the semi-finals, but then fell away in spectacular fashion, eventually ending up 8th. By the end of the event, the talk was more about Child's hairstyle than the team's style of play.
Well, there's a few of the boys getting a bit bored in the hotel room. We had a lot of downtime because in between games you'd have days on, days off. And Richard Petherick and I went down to the shops one day and we bought a bit of chlorine or bleach for hair colouring. And Lloyd Stevenson was the hairstylist, and he put it in. He got me to sit down, and I said I didn't really know what I wanted at the time, but I just said to him, "Oh, just put something cool in, do something cool." So he put a big racing stripe down the side of my head. Got a little bit of attention, but yeah, I didn't really like it too much, but I kept it.
If the Kiwis are to make a major impact in top-level events, Child clearly has to play a pivotal role. But there are a few chinks in his armour that need sorting out.
He's very much driven by scoring goals. If he scores goals, he feels he's playing well. He needs to start mixing it up and counting the assists. They're as important in his game, but he's just a bit young to know that yet. But he's going to be great for New Zealand hockey. I think we'll see him in the midfield later on. But he brings the new breed of hockey player to us. Reminds me a little bit of some of the Spanish players in that he will do and create things that we've never seen before. So that's really exciting for us.
The youngster who's studying for his Bachelor of Business at the University of Auckland has all his goals chalked out.
Short-term goals is to qualify for Beijing and to get a medal at the Olympics. It's a team goal of ours, and we obviously will work very, very hard towards that and do as much as we can. Personally, I'd like to keep playing for New Zealand for as long as I can, until my body stops me from playing.
Well, there are many miles to go on the young Kiwi superstar's clock yet, and the Black Sticks are already counting on him as they look forward to a successful future. That's all we have for this time, but next month we find out more about Canadian hockey. Till then, goodbye.